What's up, you guys? My name is Cybersnolf, and happy 4th of July, and also welcome back to LEGO Arts. So, yesterday's episode, the last episode, it was LEGO Crisis on Earth X, and today, as like a special celebration for 4th of July, I decided to showcase you guys as my LEGO Avengers showcase. Okay, so I know it's probably a little bit too late because Infinity War already came out, but originally today I wanted to do like a Captain America special, but I promised one of my friends that we'd do a duet together, and he's still working on his minifigures. So I figured that that I'm done with these ones, so I should showcase to you guys. I should showcase these minifigures. So about like 15 or 17 minifigures in total. Of course, we have Captain America, Iron Man, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Thor, Incredible Hulk, War Machine, AntMan, Wasp, Winter Soldier, or White Wolf, whichever you want to call him, Black Panther, Scarlet Witch, the Vision, Falcon, Iron Spider-Man, and Doctor Strange. This showcase, I honestly thought wouldn't come until like September or October, because I was a bit short on Marvel minifigures, but after like my shopping at Denver Comic-Con, I got like all the minifigures there, and I was just like, okay, let's get started. So, as you know the drill, we're going to take these minifigures one at a time, showcase of how I did the whole process, and then go from there. So, let's get on in. Woo! Alright, so of course, to start things off, we have the living legend, the first Avenger, and of course, today is of course like kind of his day, Steve Rogers, aka Captain America. In like his Age of Ultron outfit. This one, aside from like the World War II outfit, this one was like my favorite outfit, and this one wasn't really much of like a custom. This was more of like a modification. So like, as you can see, like he's got his torso there. Yeah, there we go. So like he's got his torso here, and of course like he's got his iconic shield. Hang on, can we focus on that, Steve? Okay, thanks, Steve. And of course, like the shields, I repainted it a little bit to make it look more like in the movie. The only decals I really went for are like the arms. You can sort of tell on the camera, like it's got the detailing stuff, and of course like the little A. I added a little extra paint on like the arms for the back. Okay, hold on. Yeah, there we go. And also, the back torso is the same as well. Everything is pretty much the same. That's the same in here, and like the legs, they were originally just like blue, and then like of course the brown boots, but I decided to add a little bit more extra detail into them. So this looks pretty cool. And a little addition and a little detail that I really added in that I was hoping LEGO would, was that like this idea was inspired by YouTuber or Michael MGF. When he made his Captain America minifigure. So, let's take this off. Of course, like, he gave a helmet piece. So, of course, we got Steve's face. And the helmet piece itself, this was something I really wanted to add. So, what he did was, he would take a flash mask, sand down the lightning bolt wings, and then, like, repaint it, redetail it, and then, like, put it back on the minifigure, and then, boom! Instant Captain America mask. I liked that idea, but what I didn't like was that, like, he would put it on, and then paint the strap, like, on the face, like, rather than adding an extra detail onto the mask, he just decided to add that detail onto the actual face. So what I did was, like, I took a flash mask, obviously, and then, I took some molding clay, waited that, and made the strap, waited that for that to dry, then painted it brown. Of course, I made sure that it would fit on the face fairly well, so bringing you back here. So I made sure that it would fit onto the minifigure fairly well. Okay, there we go. And that way, like, if I wanted to, I could remove it off and put on, like, a hairpiece, and easily put it on with ease. And the flash mask that I went for, originally I was aiming for to look like a regular flash mask, but when I got the minifigure, the only flash minifigure, because I was at LEGO Fest, the only flash minifigure that they had was a Justice League version of it. So like I took that minifigure and like took the helmet, painted it, and like the whole thing blue, the wings silver, and painted it on an A. Which honestly, this actually looks even cooler. And plus with the wings, the design of how they look, it really looks like a little addition to the wings. digital wings. And before, like, I wrapped this minifigure up, I was kind of reluctant to do it at first, but I decided, like, after Infinity War, I decided to make, hang on, let me get them, here we go. I decided to make his vibranium claw shields, as you can see. So, let's put these on Cap. Okay, come here, Cap. Come here, Steve. What? No, not you, Steve. Other Steve. You know, the more cool soldier Steve. Okay, put that on. Okay, grab. Actually, I think it might be easier if I hold it up. There we go. So yeah, he's got like his vibranium claw shields. Admittedly, yes, they're a little bit too big. It's too big, but in order to get the like shield handles on and make sure that everything fit on perfectly, I had to go like the big route on that one. But this actually looks cool. It actually looks cool in general. So I really like this minifigure, and I'm really satisfied with it. Alright then, now let's move on to our next one. Okay, so now next up on our list is, of course, the world's deadliest assassin, Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow. Again, in her Age of Ultron outfit. A majority of these minifigures are like Age of Ultron, especially the Avengers ones, because I really like those outfits. Especially this one. I think this one has to be my favorite out of all of her outfits. Which the Infinity War was okay, but I didn't like the blonde hair because it made no sense. But anyways, back to this minifigure at hand. So with this one, like with Cap, there wasn't really much required to do. My main focus was like, since the torso and the legs were fine, my main focus was on the arms. So what I did, of course, was like, I took some blue paints and added in more of the electrical lines, and then I took some molding clay and sculpted out like her widow bites. I think it's what they're called. I believe so. Then, of course, like, she's got her electric rods. I don't think they're evenly lined up, but they still look pretty cool, so I'm pretty satisfied with that. And, one of my favorite things about this minifigure is the hairpiece itself. So, with this one, I was a little bit, I was in little debates. Like, the hairpiece that this minifigure had, it was good, but I was kind of wondering, it's just like, is there a way I could improve it? So I asked of like my family, it's just like, which hairpiece would look good? This one or a different one? And they said it's just like, the custom one looks better. And when looking at this minifigure now, I really think this really screams more to Black Widow. This looks very well made. And of course, like, she's also got like her guns. So we'll take like one of these staffs down. And, of course, the minifigure came with one of these, which is pretty handy. I think, like, something that's, I wish I could do without, ruining all the hard work on the back, is that, like, find some kind of modification to where, like, she could put on her, like, her rods and her guns, and that's to help carrying it. But, I kind of don't want to, because, like, the way on how the back looks, it's just like, oh my god, that's so cool. That's so nice looking. So, in general, this is a good minifigure, and I'm really satisfied with this. Okay, so now let's move on to our next one. Okay, so next up on our list is, of course, Tony Stark, aka Iron Man. And I think this was, like, one of the first, like, Marvel customs I made. Because, yeah, I think it was this one, Thor, or Captain America, and War Machine were, like, my first ones. And this one, it was pretty cool and interesting to make one. So, his armor, it's kind of a mix of two. Like, I tried to aim for more of, like, the Infinity War, like, the Mark 50. As you can see, it didn't fully come out as well. But, like, I did the best that I could, because I really wanted to make, like, the armor more bulky, more stand out, really, than just, like, leave it standard, which I think is actually a lot cooler than, and, like, don't get me wrong, Lego does an awesome job, but it's just, like, there's room for improvements. And, like, his arc reactor symbol, I did it, like, based off of the Mark 6, because that one's my favorite of the classic Iron Man armors. The helmet wasn't really much change, except for, of course, the blue eyes and, the color differentiation. He's got the thrusters. I was almost tempted to add clay onto the feet, see if I could, like, boost armor up the legs a little bit, but I had to be careful with it to make sure it's just like when I bend the minifigure's legs, thanks the clay wouldn't fall off. And let's look underneath his helmet. So, okay, remove the faceplate. So first we got Tony's head, on his head, and the face mask itself. I tried to do like the screen thing that he has underneath his armor, and something I was originally aiming for was like the chin strap on the mask. When first like modifying minifigures, I originally wanted to wear and to make it for like I could cut the chin strap off, glue it onto the helmet, and that way only the gold parts could lift up like in the actual movies. But when I did that the first time, I wound up destroying the mask, and yeah. So I might try that again in the future, but if I do that, I'm going to use a different Iron Man helmet, because as like if I mess this one up, it'll be a disaster. So like one of those things that's just like, we must be careful. Use this wisely. But speaking of which, let's now move on to our next minifigure. So next up is of course the God of Thunder and King of Asgard, Thor. Or this one is like with Cap and Widow, like sort of modification, like mainly modification rather than custom, really, because like of course like he's in his style of Thor Ragnarok, and the whole outfit is really there in general. All I really added was like the extra red detailing, and of course the blue shoulder armor. I was kind of tempted to add it like the blue boot armor, but that only appeared for a short period of time, so it wasn't really required for that. That's of course like he's got his helmet. I really like the helmet piece. I think it's kind of cool, and like I did a little painting over here, like he's got a strap on, and I guess like the real like custom thing about this one is of course like he's wielding Stormbreaker. And this is kind of Stormbreaker Mark II. So when first making this hammer, originally I was just gonna give him Mjolnir, but I didn't have like a regular Mjolnir. Instead, like I had my own custom Mjolnir that I made at the time, because I didn't know Stormbreaker was gonna appear in Infinity War. But then after I saw the movie, it's just like, ooh, I want to make that one. So let me show you Mark 1 of this one. So I guess this was like version 1. One of this. Like, I took a rod that I found, then, like, added the clay, and I think this was a cup. Glued it on, painted it silver, and then it's just like, boom, done. But then afterwards, it was just like, whoa, wait a minute. We can improve. We have to fix this. So what I did was, I looked at some photos of what Stormbreaker looked like. It's like, sculpted out the blade and the hammer parts, and of course, like, the twig. Then, added the design onto the hammer, then painted up the areas where those design patterns were, and then fixed the whole thing up, and now this Thor actually looks way cooler than before. So I'm really satisfied with this minifigure, and I'm glad I got the chance to like make the weapon, because like making custom Lego weapons is kind of fun. All right, now let's move on to our next one. Justin, stop giving him crap. Stop it. Okay, he's a valuable member. Remember? Shut up! Oh, I'm sorry about that. Justin's just giving Hawkeye crap. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Justin. But anyways, next on our list is Hawkeye. Clint Barton. So, in like Age of Ultron outfit, so, once again, mainly, like, repainting in this minifigure was mainly required for this one, and there wasn't really, like, a ton of modifications to do. Though the style parts that I found with this minifigure was, when I got this at the con, I saw that he only has like this face. He doesn't have like the one without the goggles, which is kind of sad. Because I liked the dual face. But at the same time, I'm glad I got this one rather than like the first Avengers version or like the Civil War outfit. Don't get me wrong, the Civil War outfit looked cool, but I would have trouble of finding a new face, like a new headpiece for him, because like they gave like him and Cap the same head, and it's just like, that's just lazy manufacture. But with this minifigure itself is pretty cool. All I really did was like I repainted like the maroon to more of a plumish kind of color. I tried to add arm detail to the back to make it look more like in the movie. Same thing with his visors, which I guess like in combat stuff it can help keep his identity more of a secret. his bow, just like with my Green Arrow minifigure, I took like a regular bow, cut off the arrow parts and the string, then added in my own string to give him more of that archer effect. That's hence the arrow as well. And of course, like, he's got his quiver. This one I especially liked because, like, I was like, with the quiver, I could take it off and then, like, reposition it, like, isn't it? And how it's designed, it really, like, adds to more of who Hawkeye is on the movies, and now it can really pass on, and so now he's fully geared up. So I'm really glad with this one. Okay, now let's move on to the big guy. So, of course, as you can tell when I said big guy, I meant the Incredible Hulk. This one, I almost left as, like, normal, like the whole fig itself was pretty much fine, but I kind of wanted to recolor him, and I think this came out pretty good. So, like, an idea that I originally wanted to do was like, take the minifigure and have, like, of course, like, his Age of Ultron pants, but also see if I could, like, do a combination of have, like, his Thor Ragnarok outfits to see what he would look like as that one. But in the long run, I decided, like, you know what? He doesn't need gladiator weapons or gladiator gear. He's Hulk. Hulk will always be Hulk. So I had to settle down for this one, and he still looks cool. So, like, after I did the whole repainting stuff, I tried my best to, like, be careful of the head. Like, I tried to avoid, like, most of it. My main concern was making sure that I didn't accidentally paint over, like, the eyes and the mouth. And then afterwards, like, I took a green Sharpie and tried my best to do the facial expressions. But, like, I think they were much better before, so sorry about that. Of course, like, here's on the back. Not really a whole lot to go on there. I don't really customize, like, big figs that much, because I don't really have many of those. Like, I think I have 3 of them. But it was pretty cool of, like, getting the Hulk, obviously, because you can't have Avengers without the Hulk. And if you have that, then you're weird. Right then, now let's move on to, like, I guess some of the minor Avengers. Okay, so next up on our list is Scott Lang, aka AntMan. And I guess this can also substitute as a AntMan and the Wasp showcase. Okay, so with this one, there wasn't really a need to customize this, because this was already like this. Like, when I went to the con, I found an AntMan minifigure that was like this. The only difference was the helmets, for obvious reasons. But the whole outfits from, like, from, like, Civil War and from AntMan and the Wasp was all there, and I gotta say, this is pretty well made. Yeah, well made. I don't know who did this, but good job to you, good person, because this is very well done. The helmets, of course, like, I modified the helmets to make it more accurate to it, because I found out on Lego, like, the reason why the original AntMan helmet was just like a strap and exposed the mouth was because it was based off of concept art, and it was just like, oh, that's why the helmet doesn't look fully accurate. So that explained a lot. But I knew, like, when I saw the minifigure, it's just like, this has to be fixed. So, like, I sculpted out the rest of the mouth, and the rest of the mouthpiece, and just put it on, then, like, detailed it to make it look more accurate. And this was the results, and I think it looks cool. And I believe I can take it off. So this is like the face head and that they gave it, and I don't think I can turn it. Nope, I can't turn it. Yeah, but that's fine, because since I'll mostly be having this thing on, there won't really be a need to turn it around. So in general, this looks pretty cool. So speaking of AntMan and the Wasp, let's check out the Wasp. So here is Hope Pym, aka the Wasp, and pretty much the one minifigure out of all of them that's completely customized. As you can see, completely hand-painted and completely detailed. This is pretty much the one Avengers minifigure that I have that was not modified, because this is an entire custom. And, like, when exploring the con, I tried to find an MCU Wasp, but they all had comic Wasps, and the only MCU Wasp that they had was from Ant-Man 1, which that was okay, but I wanted to do, like Hope's actual outfit. So, like, looking at as many photos as I could find of, like, some other Lego customs, and of course, like, photos of her suit, I tried my best to make the outfit as accurate as it possibly could. I guess, A for effort, I guess. Yes, because this is about as close as I can get it. And of course, like the helmets, the original helmets I saw that Lego used, it's okay, but it literally looks like they just took an Iron Man helmet, recolored it, and then redesigned it. So it's just like, once again, lazy work. So I decided to make my own helmet. And of course, like looking at some photos of Wasp, I tried to get it as close as I could with like the visor, the mouth, and the side parts. I did sort of a bad, so my original aim was to make it a removable helmet, and I even did like the whole measuring and stuff, but then when I put the helmet back on the head, it's forever stuck, so I can't get it off, unfortunately, so it has to forever look like this. But that's good. I'm really satisfied with this minifigure here, and I'm kind of glad that I got it done on time before like AntMan and the Wasp. So, really glad about that one. Okay, now let's move on to our next one. Okay, so next up on our list is Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier, aka the White Wolf. And pretty much one of the two minifigures that was not like modified, customized in any way, shape, or form, because it's mainly of like what I'm aiming for. Like the torso is good like on the front and back, so this was very well done. And this was already done, and of course like the arm. The only real modification I really gave was, like, I gave him the blaster, and this was, like, something I found in storage, which I think is about close to what Bucky's blaster, Bucky's weapon really looks like in the MCU. My only complaints, though, is the headpiece, because it's a Peter Quill headpiece. I've not begun on anything of Guardians of the Galaxy, but I guarantee it's just, like, before I do that, I want to make sure that I get a different headpiece for Bucky, and I saw that they're making one for our Infinity War Wave 2 sets, so I'm promising myself it's just like when they get released, I want to get Infinity War Bucky minifigure because like I want to get a new headpiece, and of course like that vibranium arm, which really looks cool. So other than that, this minifigure is pretty well done. So this one, I guess, would be considered more of minifigure review, really, than minifigure showcase. So, other than that, pretty good done. So, let's move on to our next one. Okay, now next up on our list is Dr. Stephen Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme. And when I got this minifigure, it was just like, ooh, this could be fun to make. And when I got this one, like, the hairpiece, I didn't paint this. This was what the minifigure I found came with. It's like, oh, they already got the hairpiece done, so I'm glad on that one. So, modification stuff like that's like, little detailing onto the arms. And I added like, supposed to be the metal parts for the cape. Of course, like the almighty eye of Agamotto. And just a couple of like minor stuff on his belt. On his belt loops, and his headpiece. I kind of wished that this was in like Infinity War, Doctor Strange, because it really looks like Doctor Strange. But this also looks pretty good as well. Like he's got like his facial hair and stuff. So, and I'm really glad that Infinity War they fixed the hairpiece because it then looks more accurate. So this is pretty good. And I trimmed up the cape a little bit because I tried to like make it shorter. And like he's got like his shields, and when looking at these, I found them like a little bit too translucent. So like I painted the backs of them orange, like that way I wouldn't damage any of the front. So you can see like the mystic parts, which are all still there. It's all still good. And this is truly a Sorcerer Supreme minifigure. So. I'm glad that I got to make this one. It was a lot of fun doing this one. Okay, so let's move on to pretty much one of the more harder minifigures. Okay, so next up on our list is the first hard minifigure, Peter Parker, the Iron Spider-Man. And before you ask, yes, I did a Spider-Man Homecoming minifigure, but I'm saving that for a Spider-Man showcase, so we'll see that one soon. And I wanted to have this Spidey as like a Avengers Spidey ID. So when doing this one, the reason why I say hard was because like everything was in place, everything was there, but the main hard part was recoloring. Coloring. Can we focus on that? Okay, thank you. So mainly recoloring, like as you can kind of see, like I recolored the red to make it look more a metallic, red like in the movies. And this was like a pain in the ass to do, especially when it came to the webbing, having any more smaller patterns on it, because as you truly do, because the way how I see it was like you truly don't know the stress until like you have a minifigure and you're trying to recolor a specific part without damaging the rest of it. So this one really took like a lot of time, and I really wanted to get this one done before I worked on the second hardest minifigure. And if you're wondering like what's with his head, well, back when I first started making Spider-Man, I originally wanted to do it for where like the mask could be removable and have Peter's headpiece. But when I started on Spidey, all of a sudden the mask got stuck on, because this was back when I was first experimenting with air dry clay, so that was kind of a bad. Whoops. Upset. But I guess in a way, this kind of looks, and this kind of still looks pretty cool. And of course, like the eyes, and he's got like his tech eyes. Nice, little detailing on the back. And I guess like another main part of this minifigure was the pincers. So when I first saw this minifigure, I found the pincers like looking too small. So I wanted to really increase those, really make them larger, and like I guess make it look like Thor he can actually grab on this stuff. And a technique that's once again Michael MGF showed is that like when making an Iron Spider-Man minifigure, is that like one of the best routes could be like you take one of the Vinny Mites minifigure, then taking off the pincers, then giving them to the minifigure. I liked that idea, but I didn't want to like go on Amazon, then buy a set just to get like one specific part, and then never use the other part. So that method works. But I decided to save time and money, and just work with materials that I have. And in general, this actually looks pretty cool. So I'm really glad I got to make this one. So now let's move on to the second hardest minifigure. All right, now next up on our list is of course the second hardest minifigure, but my favorite minifigure, King T'Challa, the Black Panther. From, of course, Black Panther. So back when making this minifigure, at first I thought about like, ooh, let's do the Black Panther from Civil War, because I like that outfit. But I decided to be more consistent and go ahead with the Black Panther suit from Black Panther. But I wanted to add like my own spin to it. Like I saw that other people they made Black Panther minifigures, but I wanted to give it a little twist to it. So I decided to do the outfit, but also add the like kinetic energy design on it, which when looking at this minifigure, like when first doing this minifigure, of course I had to look at many photos of Black Panther and there to make sure that's like I get the pattern correct. And I even had to look at one of those pop vinyl doll minifigures, well, not really a minifigure, but one of those pop vinyl dolls to see if I could get the outfit right, and I did for the most part. This looks pretty cool. Of course, like sculpting the head onto the helmet. This was another thing that's I was pretty disappointed with Lego and how like they did it with like just the regular head and then that weird modified Darth Maul piece, which is okay. But I would kind of love to see them at least like modify a Batman cowl and then put that on him. So I substituted of making my own head. And my own head for Black Panther, but this still looks cool. This looks pretty cool. And like the 3D elements, like he's got on his necklace, which sadly is not fully like even. It's all supposed to be like five pieces, but of course, like when making this at the time, as I kind of messed up the back, but then I thought like, as long as I got the front, I'm okay. And so, like, when I got the minifigure, if the torso was purple, that would have been good. But for some odd reason, and it's not just with Lego, but companies choose to put, like, his, like, Black Panther's kinetic energy as blue. Like, why? Why is it blue? It's not blue, it's purple. So I had to fix that, and it was just like, I'll fix you, Black Panther. Panther. And another, like 3D parts that I almost went through would be, like, his little claws. But I decided to just have those painted, because it would have saved me on clay, and it would have been a nightmare trying to make them that small to put on one hand. I'm still not fully an expert on it. And there was already a 3D element to it, so I decided to give it a pass. But in general, after all the struggling, after all the hard work, this came out as the final results, and I'm really sad, and I'm really glad I did this minifigure. This was so much fun to make. Okay, now we can move on to the less harder minifigures. Alrighty, so next up on our list is Colonel James Rhodes, aka Rhodey, aka War Machine. Which, side note, definitely a better name than Iron Patriot. Thank you for refixing this. So, with this minifigure, is Civil War version. I originally wanted to do Infinity War, but when I saw that it was like all camo print, I'm not that very good at patterns, so I didn't want to risk of messing up the helmet, making it look ugly, so I just settled down for the Civil War version. And plus, Civil War, it really looks cool. So I'm glad with that one. So, with this minifigure, I tried to make it a little bit more bulkier than Iron Man, but they're roughly about the same. Same thing with, like, the arms and, of course, the chest. I can't remember if I did any detailing on the back, but there wasn't really required to, because I super glued this Lego piece and, of course, put it on the gun. And that was, like, the main problem I had with Lego's version. Like, just have the stud blaster thing. Don't get me wrong, I do like the stud blasters, because it really gives the effect of, like, blasters actually firing, but I thought that looked so weird. And plus in Lego Avengers, like the game, it's a laser. It's not like an actual machine gun, or minigun. It's a laser, and it's just like, why? So I really fixed it on. So I had to fix that one, and the legs are still the same. The helmet print, I kept it intact, except for the insides. Like with Iron Man, I painted up sort of like the visual parts. And a disappointment that I didn't like was that, like, Lego got rid of the original War Machine headpiece, which was like, why? Why get rid of it? It was a good one. And they did the same thing to Captain America. I really wish that they kept with those headpieces, because I really liked those ones. I kind of prefer those more than the ones that they give them now. But that's still okay. One, like, minor thing that I wish that I could have done was that, it was like a mega, I don't know when I got this, but it was like back when Iron Man 2 was around. Mega Bloks had those, I don't even know if I can call them minifigures. Let's just say that they had those figures, and, like, a War Machine that I got on that one, he had some pretty interesting, accessories, including, like, side guns, and I was hoping that I could find those and then put them on this War Machine, pretty much make this thing look as fully armored as possible. But I can't find those, and I'm kind of sad, because it was like, oh man, I wanted to make this thing look so cool. I wanted to make him I really wanted to make him live up to his name. And I was almost tempted to add, the classic, mini rocket launcher on his shoulder. But I decided to just, let's settle for the gun first, then think the rest out later. So, in general, this is a pretty cool minifigure, and I'm pretty satisfied with it. Now then, let's move on to our next minifigure. So next up is the second unmodified minifigure, Wanda Maximoff, aka Scarlet Witch. And this one This one was unmodified because there's like there was no need to do full-on custom. So it's in her Civil War outfit, which I find very unique because like she's got like the little, not really cape, but more like the waist pattern thing, which was an interesting effect. I kind of wish that I had more pieces like these so I could really get creative with my minifigures on this one, because it'd be like, ooh, sort of 3D element to it. So I really like it. I really like the fabric part of it. There's detailing on the back, and of course, like, she's got the like red mystic eyes, and I can't remember, but I think this outfit is the same in Infinity War, so it's just like 2 and 2 on that one. Only downside with this one, and I didn't think about it until now. This minifigure came in, she didn't have like the mystical parts, like really shows off her powers. So I think like when I'm done with this, I might go like through my drawers and see if I can make something like that, because that way it would really show off to her powers, and it'd be a nice little addition to that. But I'll worry about that later. Right now, I know I'm close to finishing this video, and I really want to get it done. So, let's move on to the next minifigure. So next up is the Sam Wilson, aka Falcon minifigure. Once again in Civil War, and I believe this is also so close to his Infinity War outfit. So it's just like 2 and 2. I want that one again. And not really a whole lot of modification to this one. This one, like, just slight repaints to the wings, repainting to the arms and legs. And of course, like, I added the backpack, because when I got this minifigure at the booth, it didn't have that built-in red wings. So it provided an opportunity for me to bust out the clay, and then put this on. Had to look at some photos, so I could, like, know exactly what it was I was making. Then added, like, I drew on the details, then painted out the rest of it, and it came out pretty well. Same thing with the legs, like, really just painted those on. And of course, like, with his arms, I added a little bit of clay onto the shoulders to fully match up of how he looks in the movies, and of course, painted his arms brown. And I tried to match it up with like his skin tone to make it all even out. Didn't really have to do anything to the torso, the torso is all good there. And same thing to the head, and of course, like when getting this minifigure, like with Scarlet Witch, he didn't have his weapons. So, I took the weapons that I got from Wild Dog, which, side note, I put him and Mr. Terrific in storage, and I dismantled the Dinah Drake Black Canary minifigure. So, needless to say, you won't be seeing any of those minifigures again for a long time. But I chose to take, like, the guns that he had and give them to him, because, quite frankly, Marvel is way more important than CWDC. There, I said it. Plus, this actually looks cooler, and I think that this minifigure can do them more justice than the other ones. But without further ado, let's wrap this video up with our last minifigure. So last but not least is, of course, the Vision in Age of Ultron design. I chose to just stick with this design because I didn't trust myself to redesigning to look more like Infinity War. Plus, I can't remember if they both pretty much have the same outfits. If they do, then it's just like, okay, that's good. But I did decide to do, like, a little repainting. So, like, I painted up his feet. Same thing with the arms. I added a little bit of gold detailing onto it. His headpiece I also repainted as well. To make it for where, like, I'm not sure how to describe it, but I guess, like, the head part would match up a lot more and look more connected. And I actually think that this Vision was used for Civil War, because I heard that originally the Mind Stone, it was blue for some odd reason in Age of Ultron, and then they changed it to yellow for Civil War. So that's like a good, and like a real change to this minifigure here is the cape, which I think is one of the more successful capes that I've painted. I've mentioned in the past, it's just, like, painting capes is hard, because, like, sometimes I get, like, one of those capes that I have to paint on both sides with the same color, that way it doesn't bleed, like, through, and I have to be very careful. But this was one of the more successful capes that, like, I painted on one side, and on the other side it was untouched until I went back through. So, in general, this is one of the most successful capes that I've ever done, and I'm really glad with the process. Okay, put that back on, okay, there we go. Sorry about that, small technical difficulties. Okay, there we go. There we go. So, this minifigure was pretty good. Came out pretty good. Nice that I didn't really have to do, like, so much modification to it. But I'm glad that I got to do, like, all the Avengers. So that was pretty fun. So, let's go ahead and wrap up the video. And that does it for this episode of LEGO Arts. 4th of July edition. I'm really glad to finally get these minifigures done. And again, I honestly thought that I wouldn't do these till later on at the end of the year. But then after Denver Comic Con, it was just like, woo! I can finally get started on them. And it was really a lot of fun making these guys. And if you're curious about, like, what about, like, Captain Marvel or Thanos? Or maybe some other Avengers villains. I think I'll wait on those for a little bit. Like, the Avengers villains, it's like, I want to do Ultron, but I need to get, like, a few parts for that one. And, like, maybe Killmonger, I haven't decided on that one. And maybe some Spidey villains. I'm definitely leaning towards a Venom, and towards to do, like, Venom, but I have to wait on that one. But for Captain Marvel, I want to do that minifigure, I really do, but I think it'll be better if I wait until, like, either after Avengers 4 or after Captain Marvel. That way, I'm given, like, some photos to look at, and that way, I'm given a basic idea. So, like, when it actually comes out, if I made the minifigure beforehand, then realized, like, oh, I messed up, I gotta redo that. So, Captain Marvel, is gonna be put on hiatus for now, wait until, I'm not even sure how to describe it, but pretty much wait until after I get, like, real evidence on, like, what the costume would look like. That way I have something to work with. And, like, with Thanos, that one's a maybe, because, quite frankly, after Infinity War, I'm still recovering from that. So, I think I'll wait until, like, Avengers 4, because, like, I've already done so much in one showcase, I can put it all aside for another one. So, the next episode, it probably won't be tomorrow. It won't be tomorrow, because I'll have to do, like, some filming on it and final designs. But the next episode is going to be a showcase that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and I finally got done with it. I need to do some filming on that one, and make sure, like, I do some final adjustments. But it's been something that I've been wanting to do for quite some time, and I'll leave a little teaser at the end, and just leave you guys to guess what it is. So, without further ado, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, hit that like button, comment below what you think, share this to your friends, subscribe to me on YouTube, follow me on Twitch. And here's a howl for the road. Ow! Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time when the ice moon rises. Next time on LEGO Arts. I'm outta here.